Alright, Talkback World, this is our Man of Steel review. I am Darth Bishop, and this is...
Another.
And we're just going to give our thoughts on the film. I got to see it finally Saturday, and as you guys have known by now, I've been doing a lot of flapping about the film. I was very impressed with the trailers and the promotion, and I guess I needed something to believe in. Superman's one of my favorite characters. I know he's not a favorite character of many. Spider-Man could be others, Batman is whatever, but you know, and Batman could be other people's favorite. It's like my second favorite. Batman's my second favorite. Superman's always been my favorite ever since the '78 Christopher Reeve film. I used to watch those films religiously. Anytime the Donner films were on TV, I'd watch it. Superman 2, which is not technically a Donner film, but I always credited him with some of the work. I'd watch it. And then later on I got into the comics, but the movies were first. And so when I saw the first trailers and I saw the angle it was going for, the music, the score, man, they had me technically all around. So I was very much looking forward to this film, and I hyped it up on talkback boards and the shout box for days on end. And many of you guys were like, "Well, this movie's gonna suck," you know. And I just said, "Look, keep an open mind. Just gotta keep an open mind." So that's where I come from with the character of Superman and how I grew up with him, and you know, and Christopher Reeve is Superman. Even after watching this, there's just no doubt in my mind that Christopher Reeve is still Superman. That's a hard act to follow, and Christopher Reeve just, man, I don't know. It's just like, you know, I never expected this movie to give me that kind of Superman. I didn't go into it that way. There's no way, because if I would have done that, I would not have even liked this movie at all. So just know that I went into this movie ready to move on, just saying, hey, Christopher Reeve left his mark. He was my Superman growing up, okay? That's never going to change. I don't think anyone's ever going to be able to do that. Let's start with the film. What's your take on the character of Superman? I believe you found him rather boring. This is pre-film. This is pre-Man of Steel, before you sat and watched it last night. What were your thoughts on the character of Superman?
Superman is pretty good as a character. I think he's one of the few... superheroes that is supposed to be all good. Batman has a dark side. Spider-Man has this tendency to not step up to do things, and so then later he wants to correct them. But Superman is just good. So of course everybody has the savior references where they're saying that, you know, this is, if we had a superhero who is Jesus, then that would be Superman. From that perspective, I wanted to be wowed. Certainly, this is a good character, and so we want him to be good morally. We want him to be good in pretty much every way. We want him to be the shining beacon of light as a superhero goes. I think they accomplished that pretty well. They showed him growing up, and it was good. I really liked the flashbacks that they did to show his development as a child, and then later as a young man.
Okay, guys, you guys want to know, did I like it, did I not like it? You know, I want to make it as spoiler-free as possible. So for those people looking for a spoiler-free without all the details, what I didn't like, what I liked, look, I thought it was a good movie. The film wasn't a great film. It was close to being even a bad film. It was very, I mean, God, I'm fighting with this film. I am fighting with it. Okay? I'm fighting with it. And listen, I told you guys I'm going to be honest. Okay? I watched this film, and let's start with the Krypton scenes. I thought, bam, this movie's going to be awesome. Those first 15, 20 minutes on Krypton beat anything that the John Carter film brought to the table. If you've seen John Carter, that crap of a film, and you see that Krypton, and you've been like, oh my God, why didn't John Carter look anything like this, or had that same kind of aesthetics, okay? Because this film had that John Carter all over it, and it was better than John Carter in those first 15, 20 minutes of Krypton. It was amazing. I said to myself, what a way to kick off a film. Then this film took just a different tone. What do you think of the Kryptonian scenes?
So we could have actually spent more time in Krypton. The characters there were intriguing.
Very.
The concepts of what they were dealing with, a world where the political forces that be had decided certain things that led the world into ruin and caused it to have issues that would prevent it from going on. That's intriguing also. Certainly we have the climate debates here on Earth. So from a concept of Star Trek, where we have something that we can bring a present day issue into the future and expand it in such a way that you can get a concept of, if everything were to go terribly wrong, what would that look like? If you have a whole world where it has these different rules that apply, but yet it's true to those rules, and then I'm not sure if the rest of the Superman movie was true to those concepts that it set forth, but the Krypton scenes were true to what they had created. And so that's so intriguing, because then you, as a watcher, you can take that mentally wherever you want to go. That's why the first Star Wars film had so many books written about it that went in so many different directions, because it could spark curiosity and spark imagination in a way that's really valuable. It's not just a monetary thing, oh, we're going to make money because this is intriguing. No, it's actually, that's why we pay money. That's why it does make money, because it's valuable to think about that and to expand your horizons in that type of way. So, incredibly well done. I couldn't have asked for a better 15 minutes.
So, look, guys, like I just said, the movie was good. I thought it was good. It wasn't great.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alerts. What I thought about it, it was good. Definitely worthy of going to the theater, of watching it. It's better than Iron Man 3. It's better than Iron Man 2.
Ooh, one of the things I really appreciated about it, a lot of what we see in the trailers is actually, you knock that out of the park in the first, 20, 30 minutes. So then you don't have to wonder, where am I going to see that scene? We've seen it, and now we're just, what's next?
Right. The movie over-explains things too much.
Yeah.
I thought. It just over-explains. I don't need spoon-feeding, which is where I think that this can't be a total Nolan screenplay with Goyer, because Nolan doesn't always over-explain things in his films. As far as I know, he never over-explains. He wants his audience to be intelligent enough to pick these things up. Look at Inception, look at The Prestige, look at Memento. He doesn't want to over-explain. He just wants to say, hey, get this reference. You don't get it, you don't get it. You're not paying attention, you're just not paying attention. This film, it just needs to over-explain. The flashbacks, I heard people having problems with it. I didn't have a problem with the flashbacks. These flashbacks were handled well, and Kevin Costner stole. What an amazing performance! How can you watch that and say that Kevin Costner didn't give? He's amazing, absolutely amazing. What do you think of Kevin Costner as Jonathan Kent?
I think Kevin Costner is good enough that, okay, so to admit this, I do sometimes cry at movies that are touching. I think almost everybody cried at the beginning of Up. I did too.
Those first 15 minutes are tough.
No, it's like 5 minutes.
5 minutes, right? Yeah, like 5 or 10 minutes, right?
So
it's pretty crazy.
Kevin Costner's parts, they were so inspiring as a dad, who's not even the biological dad, but really just, he takes that role. He takes the responsibility, and he has so much love coming out of what he's showing in what he's portraying. As an actor, how can you ask for anything more? He shows that love, that a dad who's adopted a son that he doesn't totally understand, but has so much love and so much hope for. It was emotional for me to see him on screen. Almost every single scene he was in. Way better than almost any of the other actors or actresses.
Definitely. If I could find a thread of storyline that hurt this movie, it's the love relationship, this romantic relationship of Clark and Lois. That it's just so forced. Okay, I think Other has another, wants to develop this. But guys, they did not have to force feed us this relationship. This relationship was horrible. It rivals Anakin Skywalker and Padme in Attack of the Clones. I was like, oh my god, what's worse? I think that still is worse. Anakin and Padme is worse
Still
still.
worse, yeah.
But this was close. This was like scratching the surface of Attack of the Clones. Did we need to see this? I mean, a second film would have been fine. God, it's horrible. It just did not fit. It did not fit in this movie. Who was editing this and say, this is acceptable? This is not acceptable. Oh, what? You're a woman. What did you think of that relationship? Go ahead.
So my first thought is that it's definitely written by a man, because from a male perspective, we want to get everything done and out of the way. So that happened. They got everything done and out of the way. It's really unpleasant and painful and awkward.
Awkward. God. Yes.
From a female perspective, and really from any guy who is actually a romantic, I think it's better to leave a little bit to the imagination. Maybe leave a lot to the imagination. There is no need to rush into this relationship in any way. If you have any concept of what Superman has been in the past and what it could be now, there's no need to rush into it. It's like Superman didn't even care about the thousands of millions of people, of maybe even more, that he might have potentially destroyed as collateral damage in the previous fight scene and the following fight scene. No, he had time to sit there and have a moment, a painful, awkward, awful moment with Lois.
The line. It all goes downhill after the first kiss. Well, I'm not a human, so some shit like that. What? Who let that pass? What is there? I'm speechless. Who is on set? There's got to be a script director somewhere reading that line, watching it on the teleprompters. This film was shot digitally. Are you kidding? Did you not say, this looks like shit? This sounds like shit. Please, let's cut this from the film. You don't need it. I'm telling you, I saw this in IMAX 2D. The level of catastrophe. It was like they destroyed 75% of Metropolis. I think about 200 to 500,000 people died in this movie. Okay?
That's an exaggeration. They only destroyed 10% because Metropolis is huge. Maybe 15%.
Okay, God, I don't know. It felt more. It felt like lives were dying. I just, the destruction level. By the end of the film, my brain couldn't take anymore. I thought that could never happen from the Transformers films. I really thought that the Transformers films already beat that. No. Man of Steel actually beats that.
I am so frustrated with this film because it could have been great if they had cut about
this
30
film
minutes
could
out of
have
it.
been great.
They had just too much.
It had the potential. They had the footage. It suffers from editing. This film could have been chopped down a bit. We get it. This is Superman who isn't even Superman fully in this movie. This is Superman Begins. So guess what? We could have cut out 30 minutes from this film. This could have been a 2-hour solid film, not a 2.5-hour film. 2 hours, good enough. Because he's not even being called Superman. He doesn't have control of all his powers. And I love that. I like that. Let's take our time. Let's go slow. But then they just packed so much at the end. I don't care that he kills Zod at the end either. I don't care about that. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for some edginess from Superman. You know? But look, he actually cares that this group of people are about to be killed with heat vision, but yet the thousands have died in these buildings being collapsed. And not for nothing, man, but that last fight scene with Zod and Superman was a ripoff of Matrix Revolutions when Neo's fighting Agent Smith in the sky. As a matter of fact, man, it pains me to say that was better. God, that hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts to say that the Neo fight with Agent Smith at the end of Revolutions was actually better. And that was done how many years?
And it hurts also to say that the compassion level that Tony Stark showed to people was higher than that of Superman's compassion level.
Yeah.
Tony Stark, come on.
I also felt that Clark always looked bumbly when he's just this massive, big hulking man, and he's wearing this gravedigger outfit with the ball cap on. It looks ridiculous to me. He looks ridiculous. He looks like a big ox. And Lois is in the cemetery, and it's a great flashback here. Amazing with the whole tornado. But he's got this ball cap on. He's got like this shirt. He looks ridiculous because he's so buffed. He's so big. He's a presence that he just stands there. And you're like, this guy's no gravedigger. What he has? Does he have a shovel in his hand in that scene? Is he holding a shovel? I picture him holding a shovel with this like flannel kind of button-up shirt and a ball cap going down to his brow. He just didn't. I don't know. It didn't look right to me. Let's talk about Zod. What do you think about General Zod? Was he a good villain?
I actually liked it. I'm not sure who the actor was. If I'd seen
Michael
him in
Shannon?
Well, I don't know if I've seen him in anything else.
Okay.
But I thought he did a great job with the character. You really couldn't ask much more from that character, because that character was a product of its system. So as a product of its system, that character did exactly what that character was supposed to do. It's a two-dimensional character, and he did that very well, convincingly.
I thought so. I thought Michael Shannon was one of the Russell Crowe, Kevin Costner. I mean, Cavill did great too. Everybody acted great. It's just that this film had too much excess, and excess sometimes reveals a lot of the weaknesses in the screenplay. So yeah, this film needs to be tightened up somehow. I want to see it again for sure. It was too loud in the theater. Way too loud. And the IMAX 2D was just way too loud. My ears, drums were hurting. It was too much action, too much. And I don't want to blame the film. I think it's just the sound. Because if I was watching it in my home cinema here, I could lower it down a bit and really enjoy the film a little bit more. And kind of pull back. This film was just too fast cut. The terraforming machines, where the thing was grabbing Superman with tentacles. I couldn't tell what was going on. It was so fast. I would have appreciated some slow-mo finally from Zack Snyder, who's known for his slow motion shots in 300. I would have preferred some slow-mo because it was so fast. I couldn't see what was going on. Too much handheld camera work. Should have been cut back a little bit more. Get some steady cam going on there, man, because this whole handheld stuff, I appreciate it for the Smallville scenes, but I didn't appreciate it for those terraforming machines. This is a Superman origin, and they really focus on him and how he was as a kid and all that stuff. So go into this centric of Superman, centric of Kal-El, centric of Clark, not even a Clark Kent. This is Kal-El Superman. This is the Kal-El Superman story. Okay? This is not even a Clark Kent story. Very little Clark Kent. We're going to get more Clark Kent in the next film. So, that's all I have to say. Yes, this film wasn't as good as I touted it to be. I had high hopes. I wanted to believe this film was going to be epic. I wanted this film to be the best comic book film, the king daddy of all of them. I wanted it to be the best. But unfortunately, it wasn't.
It wasn't super.
It wasn't super. Okay. And I own up to it. And that's it. What can I say? I have nothing else to say. You know, at least I didn't back, like, Wake Up Iron Man 3.